You see, I ordered some labs for my patient 3 days ago, and they are still not back.
Oh, thank God. Johnny just texted they found Sophia.
Lizzie, where is she?
At the pub.
Sophia, where have you been? Well, aren't you gonna say anything? We've all been worried sick.
She was hiding out in a vacant room upstairs.
Made me feel like I had no control over my life, over my body, that I never would have had to. And after my baby was born, I was so scared.
Feeling sad, and just say that I'm wondering it now that Sophia's been found and now that the truth is out.
This is your deep dive into the most explosive week on Days of Our Lives. Sophia Choi's web of lies has finally imploded, leading to a shocking public collapse and a diagnosis that could change everything. We're breaking down the entire saga, from the moment Steve and Brady cornered her to the heartbreaking confrontation with her mother, Amy, and the devastating impact on Tate, Holly, Johnny, and Chanel. We'll explore the future of baby Tesoro, the burning question of his true paternity, and whether Johnny and Chanel's dream of adoption is now officially dead. Plus, we're unpacking all the other drama hitting Salem, including Sarah's explosive fight with Xander and EJ's continued scheming. This is the ultimate breakdown of secrets, lies, and the emotional fallout that will ripple through Salem for months to come. Hey Days of Our Lives fans, Sophia's baby saga comes crashing to an end as she is nowhere left to hide. Or does she? Today on Days of Our Lives, Sophia's finally caught, but answers may never come. And Chanel and Johnny worry over Tesoro's future. When Sarah receives a breaking news SMS stating that Sophia is gone, she is at work. That ought to be an Amber Alert, right? I suppose Salem has its own way of doing things. As EJ passes by, she stops him and accuses him of being a cheapskate by complaining about the lab backup and his staffing issues. Before telling Sarah that he must make the tough choices to pay for the free clinic, he tries to frighten her with insubordination and then touches a nerve by bringing up Xander. In relation to that, he invites her to speak briefly during the dedication of the clinic. What is Sophia going to say? Brady and Steve hurry up, use a key to get entry, and sees Sophia before she can flee after Roman informs him that there is only one empty room above the pub. Outside, we witness Amy slap Johnny once more and blame him for Sophia's escape. She threatens to sue him because she believes he is just another dishonest Demera. Before she can leave, Johnny notices Sophia with Steve and Brady in the window of the pub. Leo and Javi interrupt Tate and Holly as they are heading to the pub to inquire about Sophia. They noticed the alert for missing persons. Holly and Tate just tear off the bandage and inform the guys that Tesoro is Sophia's child, not Tate's. Will Amy receive her responses? After Tate and Holly depart for the pub, Chanel stops by and complains that she and Johnny might not be able to adopt Tesoro if Sophia doesn't show up. She greets the young boy and declares that they are vying to be his parents. Then Chanel quickly leaves after receiving a text from Johnny. When Sophia sees her mother inside the pub, she freezes, but Amy quickly enters and hugs her with relief. Amy demands that her daughter inform her that she has been the subject of falsehoods. However, Sophia is unable to. She is not the imaginary person her mother imagines her to be. Everything is real. She claims that she gave birth alone in her bedroom because of her mother's oppressive control, but she also maintains that she would never tell Amy or Tate, who had strolled in with Holly, that she had given birth because they would have forced her to keep a child she didn't want. And none of this would have escalated if Johnny hadn't backed out. While everyone else demands answers, Amy is devastated that her daughter gave birth by herself. When Leo and Javi walk in, Sophia finally loses it, begins striking herself in the head, and yells, "I can't take this anymore." Amy runs to her grandson. "I can't stand it." Brady tries to help her, but she collapses, and Javi comes running over. Sophia opens her eyes, but her gaze remains fixed on the floor. What's the matter with Sophia? As EJ passes by, and inquires as to whether Tesoro is the baby Johnny and Chanel are trying to adopt. Leo is out in the plaza conversing with Tesoro. Presumably off-screen, Leo tells him Amy and Brady are left to worry after they bring Sophia to the hospital, and Sarah takes her to an examination room. Brady reassures Amy that she did her best and cannot hold herself responsible as she struggles to understand how everything happened. Chanel and Johnny arrive seeking news when Amy tries to reach her enigmatic husband. Although they have sympathy for her, their main goal is for her to get better, so they can move forward with the adoption. In the exam room, Sarah tries to speak to Sophia, but the teenager doesn't respond. She goes out to inform others that Sophia is physically well, but appears to have experienced a psychological breakdown and suffers from selective mutism. She's requested a psychological evaluation. While Johnny and Chanel worry that they will never get Tesoro, Amy enters to visit her daughter. When EJ approaches to give assistance, Chanel yells at him and escorts Johnny away. Tate, Steve, and Holly discuss all that's happening in the square over coffee in the show's closing moments. Steve has sympathy for her. She has been under a lot of stress. Holly is still unhappy, but she does have some empathy. Tate tells Holly that he regrets wasting time searching for a child that wasn't his. Once more, he completely collapsed and quickly recovered from this child-rearing situation. After giving Marlena an update over the phone, Brady follows up with Sarah to retell the Sophia story together. Sarah is uncertain about her future. Amy assures Sophia in her room that they will work this out. She would do anything to switch places, then give her daughter a hug and assure her that everything will be all right. Javi discovers Leo in the square and informs him that although Sophia appears to be mentally ill, Sarah and Amy are taking care of her. They both acknowledge feeling depressed, exposed, and afraid. They have no idea what this will entail for them or Tesoro. Days of Our Lives 2-week spoilers. October 20th to 31st. Get ready for 2 weeks of intense drama on Days of Our Lives. From October 20th to the 31st, expect major confrontations, shocking revelations, and the beginning of November sweeps. Sophia faces the music when Steve and Brady track her down, leading to a dramatic collapse. Paternity questions surrounding baby Tesoro create chaos, and Javi and Leo are deeply concerned. Sarah confronts EJ about the hospital blackout, while Gabby and Philip's romance blossoms amidst corporate espionage. EJ tries to get on Belle's good side, possibly to avoid legal trouble. Paulina and Abe clash over Theo's new CEO position at Demera Enterprises, and Gabby strikes a deal with Theo. Xander faces questions from Philip, while Sarah kicks him out after a shocking confession. Plus, a Halloween horror unfolds as a knife-wielding maniac terrorizes Horton Town Square. October 20th through the 31st. We're going to talk about EJ getting chewed out and Gabby making a devilish bargain. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt. If you're not following us, please click that subscribe button. And it's important to note that the last 2 days of these 2 weeks, October 30th and the 31st, are the first 2 days of November sweeps. So look for a big buildup over these 2 weeks as we get into some really wild stuff in sweeps. All right, Monday, October 20th, Steve is working with Brady to find Sophia. They do find her, and they march her into the pub, where she will face Holly and Tate and Johnny and Chanel and Javi and Leo and baby Tesoro, and also her mom, Amy. Everybody is questioning Sophia at once, demanding the truth, and she just collapses. Javi and Leo are very worried about Tesoro. So with the change in paternity, any papers Tate signed, any permission he gave for adoption are all negated. But the real biological father should get some say, or at least a little window to decide if he wants to keep the baby or not, and of course, that's likely Aaron Green. Sarah confronts EJ, and it could be about all the mess going on at the hospital, the blackout, all that stuff. Gabby and Philip enjoy their blossoming relationship, but if he knows that Gabby planted the bug for Tony in their corporate offices, will Philip let it slide? I mean, probably. Gabby's gorgeous. She's hot. She's in his bed. And let's be real, Philip has done so much worse than that. Tuesday, October 21st, we've got EJ trying to get on Belle's good side. But I'm just wondering why he feels the need to. Is it about trying to avoid some kind of prosecution or something from the city for liability in that blackout? He goes to see her over at Marlena's, so it looks like a personal conversation of sorts. She's not going to take him back, so I'm very curious to see what he wants. Sarah checks in with Marlena. She may be talking to her about her health concerns, or she may be consulting with Marlena about how she and Xander are doing after their first couples therapy. Perhaps Sophia's mental health issues come up as well after her recent collapse. Paulina is bickering with Abe. She doesn't understand why he won't let Theo, a whole grown man, make his own decision about being CEO of Demera Enterprises as Tony offered the job. We are going to have more scenes of Tony this week. By the way, Gabby comes to an agreement with Theo, and she may decide to keep her company under the Demera umbrella even though Tony has given it to her wholly. But she may decide to keep the autonomy, but still operate under their umbrella. That way she and Philip can still date each other, and she'll still have a good-sized corporate machine supporting her. So I'm interested to see if Tony shows up in person, or maybe he's just on a phone or a video call with Theo about the whole Gabby thing. Xander has some questions for Philip, and I wonder if he is grilling him about his interest in Gabby. Now, as of right now, neither Philip nor Xander know that Gabby was the one who placed the bug in their office. Theo doesn't know about that. Tony knows and Gabby knows. That's it. I'm very interested to see if Tony rats her out for some reason. If it is Tony, I don't think he would, but if that's Andre masquerading as Tony, then he might do it just to be chaotic, just to be a jerk. Wednesday, October 22nd, we've got Chad and EJ talking about the family difficulties, the struggles the DeMaras have been going through over the past year or so. I mean, honestly, a couple of years. They've been put through the ringer a whole lot. Some of it their fault, some of it not their fault. Jeremy and Thomas connect. Remember that's his teacher, but Thomas has been skipping out on school. Jeremy's been bringing assignments home to the house. I do wonder if Thomas may open up to Jeremy about hating Kat and hating that Chad was with her after she pretended to be his mom and all that. Rita catches Leo, probably snooping down in the construction area at the hospital, and Stephanie and Alex are making plans, and this may be for her big reveal as author Anastasia Sands. Thursday, October 23rd. Sarah has some information for Amy that's difficult to hear, and it is about Sophia. So Sarah may be confirming the recent paternity test, if assuming that Sophia signed off on it, or if Sophia has collapsed, maybe Amy is acting as her proxy and guardian. So, I do wonder if Sarah's going to tell Amy about why Sophia collapsed. And the question is it mental? Is it physical? And is she going to recommend that she get inpatient care at Bayview? Brady is commiserating with Tate on Thursday, and they may feel a loss after finding out that Sophia's baby was never part of their family despite all the drama and the trauma. To go from thinking there's a baby to not. That's a big deal. Maggie is grilling Xander on Thursday. She's pushing him about Philip. Rachel's memories are sparked, and it seems like she's starting to get a little recollection back, and that has Marlena worried. Plus, Holly and Ariana have to face the music with the campus authorities for the accidental dorm fire. Friday, October 24th, Alex and Stephanie are trying to deal with the past. and Alex gets real confrontational with Jeremy and Horton Town Square. Stephanie and Alex have just assumed that it's Jeremy who told Leo that she wrote "One Stormy Night," and that's just not true. Alex gets aggressive about Jeremy, and Stephanie tells her boyfriend it's not worth it. But things are about to get messy because I think Jeremy may be really aggravated by their assumptions. Javi and Leo run into Amy, and they let her hold her grandson, Tesoro. And Sarah confronts Xander and demands the truth about Philip. And guess what? He caves, and he finally tells her yes, he's the one who beat Philip. Sarah kicks him out of the house and takes off her wedding ring. She says they are done. Done. Johnny and Chanel open up about their fears. We'll see if they still get to adopt. The week of October 27th through the 31st. And again, this includes the first couple of days of sweeps. We have Sophia possibly heading to Bayview. She was trying to run out of town, but she clearly needs help. Chad may soon have an uncomfortable run-in with Mark Green, who is due back in Salem soon. Even though Kat and Chad are split up, they're going to keep running into each other. Thomas may be leaving Salem soon. Carrie Christopher exited Days months ago for a new project. More backlash from Rachel's memories coming back of the night she shot EJ. Alex and Stephanie make plans to drop big news about her as Anastasia, just as her murder mystery is debuting. Someone is going to try and attack Kat and Chad on Halloween, and Alex warns them and pushes them out of the way as a knife-wielding maniac is running loose in Horton Town Square. However, I suspect this is part of the Halloween episode that is usually one-off and doesn't contribute to storyline plans. The knife wielder seems to be dressed in an old-school mad scientist-type lab coat, which is pretty weird. Also, just to acknowledge the Emmy wins, Days of Our Lives won one big category, and that was Best Actor, Paul Telfer for the role of Xander Kyriakis. Congratulations to Paul. The end of an era, Thomas DiMera's heartbreaking Goodbye to Days of Our Lives. This video explores the departure of child actor Carrie Christopher, who portrayed Thomas DiMera on Days of Our Lives, and the significant impact his exit will have on the show and its fans. The video delves into Christopher's journey on the soap opera, his final storylines, and the future of the DiMera family in his absence. It also touches on the young actor's burgeoning career and what lies ahead for him beyond the world of Salem. In a world where legacies never die, one goodbye has shaken Salem to its core. Thomas DiMera, the youngest heir of a powerful dynasty, is saying farewell. And this time, it's not just another soap twist, it's real. Actor Carrie Christopher, who brought Thomas to life since 2019, has confirmed his exit from Days of Our Lives. After 6 unforgettable years, he's moving on to new horizons, leaving fans heartbroken, nostalgic, and curious about what comes next. But as we prepare to say goodbye, we have to ask, what does this really mean for the DiMera family, for Chad, and for the very soul of Salem? Carrie Christopher's departure doesn't just close a chapter. It closes a generation of innocence in Salem. He joined Days of Our Lives when he was only 4 years old, barely tall enough to reach the studio lights, yet somehow already shining brighter than most. Over the years, viewers watched him transform from a shy child clutching his toy car in the DiMera mansion to a boy wise beyond his years, a true reflection of his father's heart and his family's haunted legacy. Every scene with Thomas carried something quietly special. He wasn't a DiMera of greed or revenge. He was the soul that reminded us what the family could have been if love ever triumphed over ambition. Now, that heartbeat is fading, and it hurts. Because this goodbye isn't just another recast or storyline exit. It's the loss of a living connection between actor and audience. Carrie's Facebook farewell made that clear. There was no scandal, no backstage drama, just a young artist answering destiny's call. He's heading to Amazon Prime in 2026, stepping into a new world, but leaving behind a legacy that can't be replaced. And the question echoes through every fan's heart: who will carry Thomas's light when he's gone? Behind the cameras, Carrie Christopher's final days at Days of Our Lives were a quiet storm of emotion. Crew members recall laughter between takes, Carrie still playing with props, still making everyone smile, even as the weight of goodbye hung in the air. He knew what was coming. So did Billy Flynn, the man who became not just his on-screen father, but his real-world mentor. When Carrie wrote that they shared a nice goodbye, fans could almost feel that moment. Two actors generations apart, standing in the same spotlight one last time. Their scenes together were never forced. They were raw, human, and heartbreakingly genuine. The kind that makes you forget you're watching fiction. In his farewell message, Carrie called Billy the best TV dad a kid could have. That single sentence said everything: respect, gratitude, love. It wasn't about fame. It was about family both on and off the set. Then came his parting words to the fans. Thank you, Days fans. You all are the best. Simple, pure, honest. For millions who watched him grow up, that line felt like a curtain call for childhood itself. A gentle wave goodbye from Salem's youngest DiMera to the world that raised him. Now comes the question haunting every Days of Our Lives fan. What happens to Thomas DiMera once the cameras stop rolling? According to upcoming spoilers, Thomas's story isn't over yet. He'll continue to appear through late October, with key episodes on October 22nd and 31st, fittingly just before Halloween. A symbolic ending as Salem's world grows darker. In these final episodes, Thomas finds an unexpected mentor in his new teacher, Jeremy Horton. Calm, intelligent, disarmingly kind, Jeremy becomes a guiding light for the young DiMera. But Salem's history reminds us that even light can cast dangerous shadows. Is Jeremy's mentorship truly genuine? Or could it be part of something deeper, perhaps even sinister? Some fans suspect he may be tied to one of Salem's rival families or harbor secrets of his own. Others believe Thomas's goodbye will be quiet. A boarding school departure, a family trip, maybe even a mysterious letter left behind. But this is Days of Our Lives. No exit is ever final because in Salem, people don't just leave, they transform. And one day, that little boy we watched grow up might return, older, stronger, and carrying the full weight of the DiMera name. Beyond the DiMera mansion, Carrie Christopher's real-life story is just as compelling as any Salem plotline. This young actor is stepping boldly into a new phase of his career, one that stretches far beyond daytime television. He's set to appear in HBO Max's Weapons, NBC's Chicago Med, and major adaptations like Spider Noir and Lanterns. Each role marks another milestone for a performer whose range and confidence have grown before our very eyes. But make no mistake, Days of Our Lives was his training ground. For 6 years, Carrie absorbed the craft from legends like Billy Flynn, Deidre Hall, and Lauren Koslow. He learned to cry on cue, to listen between lines, and to fill silence with meaning. He learned the art of emotion, something that can't be taught in any acting class. And though Hollywood awaits him with new lights and bigger sets, Carrie leaves behind something priceless: heart. Thomas DiMera might be fictional, but the innocence, warmth, and curiosity Carrie brought to him were completely real. That's what makes this goodbye so personal for fans. We're not just losing a character. We're watching a young artist take flight and realizing, maybe for the first time, just how bright his future truly is. Even as Thomas DiMera takes his final bow, the DiMera legacy continues to pulse through Salem like a living heartbeat, dark, proud, and unstoppable. Chad still walks the halls of that mansion, haunted by memories, by the echo of laughter that once belonged to his son, and by the endless shadow of the DiMera name. EJ, ever the strategist, hides his doubts behind a mask of confidence, unaware that his empire is beginning to fracture from within. And somewhere in the midst of it all, Jeremy Horton's quiet influence on Thomas may have sown seeds that will one day bloom into chaos. Maybe Thomas's departure isn't an ending but a mirror, forcing Chad to confront what every DiMera fears most, the loss of legacy. Because in Salem, power means nothing if love slips away. This farewell feels almost ritualistic, as if the DiMera family must sacrifice one of its purest souls to evolve. It's painful, yes, but it's also poetic. Perhaps when Days of Our Lives looks back on this moment years from now, fans will remember it as the true beginning of a new generation, the moment innocence gave way to destiny. Thomas DiMera may leave Salem today, but his name will never truly fade. So what do you think, Days of Our Lives fans? Is this the final chapter for Thomas DiMera, or merely the prologue to something extraordinary? Will the DiMera mansion ever feel the same without that small, curious voice echoing through its marble halls? Cary Christopher may be stepping into the Hollywood spotlight, but the heart he gave to Thomas remains forever etched into Salem's story. He reminded us that even in a world built on lies and betrayal, there's still room for purity, for hope. Because in Days of Our Lives, goodbyes are never endings. They're invitations to remember, to imagine, and to believe that one day, every beloved character will return when the time is right. Until then, we'll keep watching and waiting for the next heartbeat in Salem. Days may have ended Sophia as well, and it brings the baby story to a dramatic, emotional end. Days of Our Lives wrote just that for the narrative of Sophia and Tate's kid. The truth about the baby, Tesoro, Tate's paternity, and Sophia's attempts at retaliation has come to light after months of lies and deceit. Everything is out now that the teenager has been apprehended. Sophia's involvement in the story appears to be coming to an end, yet it may not be the end of the story, as we still need to learn what happens with Aaron and whose family Tesoro ends up with. Sophia had a psychological break at the end of Monday's episode, which Sarah told Amy had caused her to develop selective mutism. Sophia is doing well physically, but she had a meltdown when everyone around her started asking her for answers, and she is just plain psychologically exhausted. She doesn't respond, she doesn't talk, and she doesn't appear to know anything anymore. Of course, she could get out of this, but if spoilers are any guide, it doesn't seem good. We assume that Sarah's consultation with Marlena in Tuesday's episode will be the psychological assessment she promised Amy. Since the doctor will have to tell Amy the hard reality by Thursday, we assume it will be that her daughter won't be returning to them anytime soon. If that's the case, Sophia might be going extinct, at least temporarily. These kinds of illnesses typically lead to the characters being taken out for treatment in a distant location. They occasionally return completely intact, but occasionally they don't. Although it's difficult to predict Sophia's future, she does have one advantage. Tesoro will remain in Salem. It was a very emotional one, if this is Sophia's demise. Although we have seen her grow more cunning, evil, and manipulative, Days of Our Lives ultimately served as a reminder that she is still a terrified, frightened adolescent who put herself into trouble. Hopefully, Sophia will have received the support and healing she requires if she does leave and return. The real father of Sophia's baby revealed. It's not Tate or Aaron. This video delves into the most talked about paternity scandal on Days of Our Lives, while Sophia Choi has named Tate Black as her baby's father. And a shocking confession has pointed to Aaron Hernandez. We explore a compelling new theory. Evidence and recent spoilers suggest that the true father is a mysterious newcomer to Salem, a young man with a dark past connected to the Carver family. We break down all the clues, predict the explosive hospital showdown, and analyze the devastating fallout that will change Salem forever. Welcome, Days of Our Lives fans, and prepare yourselves for a deep dive into the paternity mystery that has everyone in Salem and all of us on the edge of our seats. At the center of this whirlwind of secrets and lies is Sophia Choi and her baby, Tesoro. The burning question on everyone's mind is, who is the real father? For months, the narrative has skillfully pointed us toward two primary candidates, the brooding Tate Black and his best friend, Aaron Hernandez. But this is Days of Our Lives, where the most obvious answer is rarely the correct one. Today, we're unpacking a bold prediction we first floated months ago, a theory that recent events are making look more and more like the shocking truth. We believe the father is neither Tate nor Aaron, but a mysterious new character poised to shake Salem to its very core, Liam. To understand the magnitude of this potential twist, let's quickly recap the tangled web Sophia has woven. Sophia, played by the brilliant Marlon Kentz, is the quintessential schemer, ambitious, daring, and relentlessly focused on her goals. Her primary objective has long been Tate Black, the son of Brady Black and Teresa Donovan. Their turbulent, on-again, off-again flirtation culminated in a passionate encounter that Sophia later claimed resulted in her pregnancy. She named the baby Tesoro, meaning treasure, a poetic title for a child conceived under such dramatic circumstances. The announcement sent shockwaves through their teenage circle. Tate, already wrestling with lingering feelings for Holly Jonas, was thrown into turmoil by the weight of impending fatherhood. The drama intensified as secrets mounted, whispered confessions were exchanged, and the signature soap opera stares left viewers dissecting every unspoken thought. Just when audiences thought they had a handle on the situation, the story took an unexpected turn. In a heart-stopping episode, Aaron Hernandez, Tate's roommate and best friend, confessed to a one-night stand with Sophia. He admitted that after a major fallout between Sophia and Tate, she sought comfort in his arms. The air was thick with tension as Aaron, consumed by guilt, laid his secret bare. This confession had the potential to change everything. However, Sophia quickly shut down the possibility, assuring Aaron that based on the timing, he couldn't possibly be the father. Yet, as Aaron himself pointed out, perhaps the timeline wasn't as straightforward as she claimed. Tate's reaction to the betrayal was nothing short of devastating. He stormed out, leaving Aaron drowning in guilt and Sophia's carefully constructed web of half-truths beginning to unravel. This brings us to our central theory. The writers have presented two plausible fathers, creating a classic dilemma of friendship, loyalty, and betrayal. However, this setup is the perfect misdirection. In the world of soap operas, the apparent suspects are often decoys for a far more explosive revelation. That revelation, we believe, is Liam. For those who missed it, the name Liam was recently introduced in a quiet but significant scene. Abe Carver, Salem's steadfast mayor, confided in his wife Paulina Price and son Theo Carver about a troubled young man he plans to mentor. This young man is Liam Sleck, played by newcomer Hank Northrup. The crucial detail is Liam's history. He was Theo's bully in high school, a dark shadow from the past who tormented him mercilessly. Theo was understandably upset, questioning why his father would help someone who caused him so much pain. But Abe, ever the optimist, insisted on the power of second chances. This subplot, simmering quietly in the background, is the key. Days of Our Lives has a talent for weaving seemingly minor threads into major storylines. We first proposed this theory back in September 2024, and now, with Liam's imminent arrival, the pieces are falling into place. What if Sophia and Liam have a hidden history, a secret romance, or a brief, passionate encounter that occurred months before Tesoro's conception was even on the radar? The timing is tantalizing. Sophia's pregnancy announcement followed her night with Tate, but this doesn't preclude an earlier involvement with someone else. A hidden romance with Liam, a bad boy with a troubled past, fits perfectly into the clandestine nature of soap opera relationships. This theory explains Sophia's character motivations far more effectively. Her desperation to pin the paternity on Tate isn't just about securing a connection to the wealthy and influential Black family. It's about concealing a much larger, more complicated secret. If Liam is the father, revealing the truth would not only expose her lie to Tate, but also unearth a past she has fought to keep buried. This single truth would detonate a bomb with widespread collateral damage, impacting not just her and Tate, but the Carver family as well. Imagine the consequences. A revelation of this magnitude would ripple across Salem, dragging in the Carver family and adding a profound layer of complexity to Abe's mentorship of Liam. The conflict would be immense. Abe, who is trying to guide Liam toward redemption, would discover that this young man is the father of a child at the center of a town-wide scandal, and that his own son, Theo, has a painful history with him. The climax of this storyline is destined for a hospital setting, the epicenter of all great soap opera births. Picture a vulnerable Sophia in labor, her contractions hitting hard as her web of lies collapses around her. Tate rushes to her side, his heart heavy with a responsibility that might not even be his. Aaron follows close behind, a mixture of guilt and hope clouding his features. The medical team bustles, the beep of the heart monitor punctuating the rising tension. Then Liam arrives, summoned by instinct or a last-minute, desperate confession. He steps into the sterile corridor. His expression is a mixture of resolve and disbelief as he declares, "This is my child." The words hang in the air, freezing everyone in their tracks. Tate's jaw drops. Aaron exhales in a rush of relief and shock, and Sophia's eyes widen in a silent scream of horror, confusion, and guilt. This is the kind of masterclass in soap drama that defines the genre. The fallout would be immediate and catastrophic. Tate would be freed from fatherhood, but shattered by the depth of the deception. The friendship between Tate and Aaron, already strained, would face its ultimate test. Sophia would be forced to confront the consequences of her manipulations, her character arc evolving from a simple schemer to a conflicted, mother-facing, and impossible situation. The story would then expand, weaving in other Salem residents. The DiMera family schemes could easily intersect with this chaos, with EJ DiMera potentially exploiting the situation for political leverage against Abe. Xander Kyriakis' own investigations into Philip Kyriakis' disappearance could unearth connections to Liam's past, adding further layers of intrigue. Even Sarah Horton's involvement could heighten the stakes if Sophia's desperation leads her to make reckless decisions that inadvertently endanger others. This multi-layered narrative is what makes Days of Our Lives so compelling. The paternity mystery is not just a plot device. It's a catalyst for deep emotional exploration and character development. Through Sophia, Tate, Aaron, and Liam, the show examines universal themes of love, betrayal, redemption, and responsibility. The social media landscape is already buzzing with speculation as fans dissect every clue. Reddit threads are filled with timeline analyses, and fan forums are alive with heated debates over who the father might be. The introduction of Liam connects past storylines with present turmoil, opening the door for intense family dynamics, fiery confrontations, and unexpected alliances. His journey, guided by Abe and complicated by his history with Theo, offers rich possibilities for a redemption arc. The dynamic between Aaron, the secret keeper, And Liam, the hidden father, could evolve dramatically. Will they form an unlikely bond? Or will they become bitter rivals? As this chapter unfolds, viewers are invited not just to watch, but to participate in the drama. Every glance, every whispered secret carries weight, and the communal experience of predicting Tesoro's father enhances the show's engagement. The stakes are higher than ever, the emotions are raw, and the possibilities are endless. Stay tuned, because as the truth about Tesoro's father comes to light, Salem will never be the same. Days fans are important to Paul Telfer, and he makes sure they know it. In a heartfelt message, Paul Telfer paid tribute to the cast, staff, and devoted viewers of Days. Xander on Days of Our Lives has had an extremely difficult week. After months of dancing around the storm, the man has finally found himself in the center of it. He has reconnected with Sarah, but their reunion may not last long if she ever discovers that he actually beat Philip. Actor Paul Telfer, meantime, has been enjoying a well-earned moment of real-life celebration as Xander fights for his future in Salem. Telfer used social media to express what he was unable to say on stage, just hours after winning a Daytime Emmy, and he made sure the audience knew how much they were appreciated. Extremely humble and thankful, very grateful and humbled to be honored last night among so many beloved friends and colleagues. Telfer wrote in an Instagram post, "It meant a lot to me that the Days team was so nice and encouraging to me. I love you all. Thanking our amazing fans was the one crucial thing I neglected to do last night, so I'll use this chance today. Many thanks, everyone." In the footage, Telfer was shown entering the Emmy stage with a broad, astonished smile, holding his trophy closely as the audience applauded, and then giving a passionate and moving acceptance speech. The performer honored those who made it all possible. He expressed gratitude to the Days crew behind the scenes, as well as his wife Carmen, who is now performing on the East Coast. He praised his co-star Lindsay Godfrey in particular, as well as his co-workers, hair and makeup artists, and props. His remarks on his parents, an 80-year-old father who became a fan because of him, and a soap opera-loving mother who has been absent for more than 20 years, were the most poignant. A job well done. The official show account wrote, "Paul, you have our utmost admiration. Congratulations." A tidal wave of adoration swept through his co-stars. Paul, Abigail Klein wrote, "This moment will never be forgotten. Congratulations for all time." You, Dan Feuerriegel, added, "The individual." In response, Tamara Braun said, "I'm so very thrilled for you, Paul. You didn't faint either." Robert Scott Wilson, however, kept it brief and to the point. "I'm proud of you, cousin." The fans then arrived. One viewer responded with conviction, "You've earned this honor for a very long time. We are very proud of you, and we love you." Such dedication and staying power, said another. A victory. Another fan said, "I knew you were unique the moment I saw you stay behind and show your fans extra love at Day of Days. Your mother is grinning and proud." And one fan just responded, "I'm so very happy for you, Paul. Congratulations. Well earned." Rinse October 20th. Bravo, Rachel Boyd. And go get them, Sophia. Those hypocrites were all due. Rachel Boyd proved why she should be the clear favorite for the Emerging Talent category of the Daytime Emmy next year during the October 20th episode of Days of Our Lives. We applauded her performance, as well as Sophia's decision to finally confront all of the hypocrites in her immediate vicinity. My dear mommy. Sophia was kept on a short leash as best Amy could. Sophia opened up to her about how she gave birth by herself in her room without anybody to turn to for assistance, since she didn't feel like she had any control over her life or her body. Compared to her own mother, Melinda paid more attention to Sophia. We wouldn't be shocked if Sophia's desire for someone to adore her, or at least listen to her, led her to sleep with Aaron and Tate as a result of Amy's domineering behaviors. As we have already hypothesized, we can only hope that Sophia's depressing home situation does not involve abuse. Dad won't be. Tate is acting as though his misbehavior, which he believed to be his father, doesn't matter now that he is aware that he is not Tesoro's father. In addition to leading Sophia to believe that he wouldn't sign the adoption paperwork and leave her to raise a child she didn't want, Tate believed he was the father of Sophia's unborn child when he disregarded her in order to pursue Holly. Furthermore, Holly's only option was to complain about Sophia's insolent attempts to get her boyfriend's attention through her insignificant medical appointments and other trivial issues. Sophia was making fun of Holly. Couldn't she, get lost or something? Holly feels even more justified in her self-centered actions now that she is aware that Tate is not the baby's father. Rights of parents. If Johnny hadn't pulled out of the adoption due to an immature breakdown, none of this would have occurred. Now he and Chanel have changed their minds, and even though they're claiming to care about Sophia's health, the only thing they truly heard about her breakdown and selective mutism is that it might keep them from adopting Tesoro. Sophia calling out all of these hypocrites today makes us very happy, and we hope she will do it again after she regains her ability to speak, because they all caused her sorrow about themselves.